99% of seniors still drink this one thing every day, and it shortens your life. Stay till the end to find out what this one thing is that shortens your life. In today's video, we will talk about why milk is bad for you after 60. Milk has always been considered a healthy beverage that provides essential nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and protein. However, as we age, our nutritional needs change, and consuming milk may lead to various health issues. In this video, we will discuss the potential risks of drinking milk after 60 and why it is advisable to stop. So let's get started. 1. Milk raises the risk of cancer. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming a lot of milk after menopause increases the risk of breast cancer. The study showed that women who consumed 3 or more servings of milk per day had a higher risk of developing breast cancer than those who consumed less milk. Another study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that consuming a lot of milk after menopause increases the risk of ovarian cancer. The researchers found that women who consumed 4 or more servings of milk per day had a higher risk of developing ovarian cancer than those who consumed less milk. These studies suggest that consuming a lot of milk after 60 may increase the risk of certain types of cancer in postmenopausal women. It is important to note that these studies are observational and do not establish a direct cause-effect relationship between milk consumption and cancer risk. More research is needed to fully understand the potential risks. However, if you are concerned about your risk of cancer, you may want to consider reducing your milk intake. 2. Milk is hard to digest. As we age, our digestive system undergoes several changes that can affect our ability to digest certain foods. One of these foods is milk. Lactose intolerance becomes more common with age, and this can make it difficult to digest the lactose or milk sugar found in milk. This can lead to symptoms such as bloating, gas, and diarrhea. Additionally, as we age, our stomach acids become weaker, which can make it harder to break down the proteins in milk. This can also lead to digestive issues such as indigestion and heartburn. To avoid these problems, you may want to consider avoiding milk or consuming it in moderation. There are also several alternatives to milk that are easier to digest, such as almond milk and coconut milk. You can also try drinking milk at room temperature, as it can be easier to digest than cold milk. If you choose to drink milk, it is important to do so in moderation and to choose whole milk rather than low-fat or skim milk, as the fat content can help to reduce digestive issues. 3. Milk makes you more prone to heart diseases. As we age, our risk of heart disease increases, and consuming milk may contribute to this risk. Milk is high in saturated fat and cholesterol, both of which can raise levels of bad cholesterol in the body. High levels of bad cholesterol can lead to the buildup of plaque in the arteries, which can restrict blood flow to the heart and increase the risk of heart disease. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that consuming a lot of milk after menopause increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. The researchers found that women who consumed 4 or more servings of milk per day had a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease than those who consumed less milk. While these studies suggest that consuming a lot of milk after 60 may increase the risk of heart disease, it is important to note that they are observational and do not establish a direct cause-effect relationship. More research is needed to fully understand the potential risks. However, if you are concerned about your risk of heart disease, You may want to consider reducing your milk intake and choosing low-fat or fat-free milk options. No. 4. Milk reduces bone health. Contrary to popular belief, milk does not necessarily promote bone health as we age. In fact, excessive milk consumption may actually have the opposite effect and contribute to bone loss. One of the main concerns with milk and bone health is its high phosphorus content. When consuming a lot of milk, the body can absorb excess phosphorus from the milk, which can then bind to calcium in the bloodstream. This can lead to a decrease in calcium levels in the body, which is an essential mineral for maintaining strong bones. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that high milk intake was associated with lower bone mineral density in postmenopausal women. The researchers found that women who consumed more than 3 servings of milk per day had lower bone mineral density than those who consumed less milk. While this study suggests that excessive milk consumption may negatively impact bone health, it is important to note that milk is a good source of calcium and vitamin D, which are both essential for maintaining bone health. The key is to consume milk in moderation and as part of a balanced diet. If you are concerned about your bone health, you may want to consider talking to your doctor about your milk intake and whether it is appropriate for you. No. 5. Milk causes prostate issues. As men age, the risk of prostate issues, such as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, increases. Some studies have suggested that consuming a lot of milk may contribute to the development and progression of BPH. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that men who consumed more milk were more likely to develop BPH. Another study published in the European Urology Journal found that men who consumed a lot of dairy products, including milk, had an increased risk of aggressive prostate cancer. While these studies suggest a potential link between milk consumption and prostate issues, it is important to note that they are observational and do not establish a direct cause-effect relationship. More research is needed to fully understand the potential risks. However, if you are concerned about your prostate health, you may want to consider reducing your milk intake and talking to your doctor about alternative calcium and vitamin D sources. No. 6. Milk increases inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a common issue among seniors, and consuming milk may contribute to this problem. Milk contains several components that can trigger inflammation in the body. One of these components is milk itself, which can trigger an immune response in some individuals, leading to inflammation. Another component is the growth hormone IGF-1, which is found in high concentrations in milk. IGF-1 has been shown to promote inflammation in the body. Consuming too much milk can lead to high levels of IGF-1 in the bloodstream, which can contribute to chronic inflammation. A study published in the journal Aging Cell found that high levels of IGF-1 are associated with an increased risk of chronic diseases such as cancer and heart disease. Additionally, milk contains high levels of saturated fat and cholesterol, both of which can promote inflammation in the body. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming a lot of saturated fat and cholesterol increases levels of inflammatory markers in the body. By reducing milk consumption, you may be able to reduce inflammation and promote overall health. No. 7. Drinking milk can cause allergies. While milk is a common allergen for infants and young children, it can also cause allergies in adults. In fact, milk allergy is the most common food-based allergy among adults. Symptoms of a milk allergy can range from mild to severe and may include hives, swelling, difficulty breathing, and even anaphylaxis. If you suspect you have a milk allergy, it is important to seek medical attention right away. Fortunately, there are several alternatives to milk that can provide similar nutrients without the risk of an allergic reaction. For example, soy milk and almond milk are great alternatives for those with milk allergies. No. 8. Stop drinking milk after 60 because it affects sleep quality. As we age, getting a good night's sleep can become even more challenging. One factor that can affect sleep quality is milk consumption. Milk contains a significant amount of tryptophan, which is an amino acid that promotes relaxation and sleepiness. While this can be beneficial before bedtime, it can also lead to drowsiness and fatigue during the day. For older adults, this can be particularly problematic as it can make it difficult to stay awake and alert, increasing the risk of accidents and other problems. Additionally, milk contains lactose, which is a sugar that is difficult to digest for some people. This can lead to digestive discomfort and more frequent urination, which can disrupt sleep patterns. To improve sleep quality, consider avoiding milk consumption close to bedtime and opting for alternative beverages such as herbal tea or water. No. 9. There are many hidden dangers in milk. Milk contains several potentially harmful components that can have negative effects on the body. One of these components is lactose, which is a sugar found in milk. Lactose intolerance becomes more common as we age, and this can lead to digestive issues such as bloating, gas, and diarrhea. Another potentially harmful component in milk is the growth hormone IGF-1, which has been linked to an increased risk of certain types of cancer. Additionally, milk contains high levels of saturated fat and cholesterol, both of which can contribute to heart disease and other chronic conditions. It is important to be aware of these potential dangers and to consume milk in moderation. Choosing low-fat or fat-free milk options and consuming it in moderation may help to reduce these risks. No. 10. Drinking milk shortens your life. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, consuming a lot of milk after 60 is associated with an increased risk of all-cause mortality. The researchers found that people who consumed more than 2 servings of milk per day had a higher risk of dying from any cause compared to those who consumed less milk. One possible explanation for this finding is that milk consumption may be associated with an increased risk of certain chronic conditions such as heart disease and cancer. Additionally, milk contains high levels of saturated fat and cholesterol, both of which have been linked to an increased risk of mortality. However, it is important to note that this study is observational and cannot establish a direct cause-effect relationship between milk consumption and mortality. More research is needed to fully understand the potential risks. Number 11. Milk causes many senior health issues. Milk can cause a variety of health issues in seniors, ranging from digestive problems to an increased risk of certain chronic conditions. As mentioned earlier in the video, milk contains high levels of lactose, which can lead to digestive discomfort for those with lactose intolerance. Additionally, the high phosphorus content in milk can interfere with the body's ability to absorb calcium, which can lead to osteoporosis and other bone-related issues. Furthermore, milk contains growth hormone IGF-1, which has been linked to an increased risk of certain types of cancer. Finally, the saturated fat and cholesterol content in milk can contribute to heart disease and other chronic conditions. If you want to reverse age-related diseases and start living a younger, healthier life, click here. To learn more, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.